Yup, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation. Me too, that's why I'm here. All I know is that Satan, who for some reason is actually just fed dust, dragged me down into hell. And that's the law. Would have been nice if the video explaining it wasn't taken down over a Better Call Saul clip. And now for something completely different. Oh my god, is that youtube.com/monosanity? What are you doing down here?
Motherfucker, you wrote me in the script.
Well, it's so good to have a friend down here. You have no idea the horrors that Fred Durst made me endure.
Who the fuck is Fred Durst?
Wanna play Bendy in the Ink Machine with me?
No, dude, I just want to play Hollow Knight Silk Song because that's my favorite game along with insert game names here. God, you know nothing about me, do you?
Look, Fred's making me only consume garbage, please. I need someone to make this bearable.
You owe me Wendy's if we do this.
Bendy and the Ink Machine is a game that exists. Normally I'd go on some rant about how FNAF made mascot horror, but I really just don't care. It's mascot horror slop, and I'm literally only covering this because these videos tend to do well for me. Bendy and the Ink Machine is a game made by Joey G Studios, the same name as the evil cultist studio that is in the game. Yup. Anyway, the entire reason I played this game was because it was free on Epic Games, meaning that to play this game, I had the joy of having to use the Epic Games launcher. All I can say about my experience with this game beforehand was that I watched Markiplier play through the first 2 chapters. He didn't do chapter 3, so I stopped caring. So I went in streaming this with no expectations and a lot of jokes about cum. And all I can say is that this game is the first time I've ever had the pause menu break on me.
Chat, I think we fucking broke the game!
Oh. Chapter 1. So the game starts with our old friend and business partner asking us to come to Stock Horror location so he can show us his big, throbbing ink machine. It's so we can power the ink machine that's for some reason gives the artist ink. And now we're issue 1 of fucking 1,000! And that's just the fact that I just cannot imagine this place being a studio for artists to work on animations. If the whole point of this place is to replicate Disney and the Mouse, then how come there's like barely anyone working here? So doing basic research around the early days of Disney, there were roughly 200 workers. Thank you AI. And in Bendy, counting all desks as workers, excluding Henry's who is apparently just there for decorations. I guess so Joey Jew can just wank off to the smell of our ass. I counted 7 desks. So unless you have animators sitting on each other's laps, which by the way, that's hot as fuck and I'd absolutely join anywhere that does that, I seriously doubt that this would have been a big fuck off animation studio. And while I'm talking about aesthetic stuff, I should mention the art style. It's alright. I'm not the biggest fan of the piss filter. I wish they lowered the saturation a little bit to make it darker and more atmospheric, but it gets the job done. So the real meat and potatoes of this chapter is that Henry for some reason wants to turn on the ink machine. So because fuck you, it's only turned on by finding random shit. So this whole chapter is just walking around finding items, and that's it. There's no tension, nothing can kill you. And the only real scare is a cardboard cutout. That's as scary as a cardboard fucking cutout. So you go around looking for this shit, and there's a kind of cool visual of a real life mascot of the wolf thing with its guts out.
Who's laughing now?
They don't explain it, it's the only real bit of horror in this chapter, and far fucking scarier than this shitty chase. So Bendy pops out to groom you, and I shit you not, this chase you just can't die in. So you can just have a lovely stroll to the exit before falling. Because it's chapter 1. And then the chapter ends by Henry having a nap on a pentagram. Yeah, this chapter sucks and it's probably one of the worst ways to begin a game. I don't know, I find it so boring. I had more to say about fucking chairs than the actual events here. Though there is some charm here, and I can see how YouTubers were able to soy face at this. Chapter 2 is probably my favorite chapter in the game. Yeah, no joke about shit or anything, this chapter's fine. So it begins immediately where the other one left off with Henry waking up from his nap. And now we're just in the music section of the studio that for some reason is just underneath. What makes this section interesting is that it's home to a cult of Bendy cutouts that have the power of respawning. I absolutely love the introduction to this chapter's antagonist Sammy though. You find a tape where it's him praising Bendy like God, only for him to...
Can I get an amen? I said, can I get an amen?
Yeah, this shit's good. Shame he's barely in the chapter, or the game for that matter, but I still kinda like him. So, with the structure of the music section of Joey Drew's, it gives you the same game progression of slowly working through as you solve more and more puzzles. And yes, this is a structure that would literally be in any other game, and I don't care, you don't understand how much I need this. However, the puzzles are on the same level as literally anything made for kids. Look for keys, look for levers, click on instruments that you're told to. It's really basic, but it's fine, I enjoy this a lot. So, what I didn't like was the introduction of this game's fucking dreadful combat. So, you know Bioshock? You know that the wrench combat's pretty dog shit? Take that, make it the only form of combat, and now make it so you not only do enemies barely do any damage, but you also regenerate health. So, in time I was in combat, there's absolutely no pressure of fucking losing, because it's a piece of piss. And dying will literally put you right back to where you are. This game is about challenging and strangling a toddler. It's more annoying, but something you could be blindfolding and playing with your feet. So, with the ink blocking, what I think is the exit, you go here, fucking murder this guy, and then you get kidnapped by the guy, and then have a chase that you actually have to press shift to beat. The chapter ending by getting kidnapped and lightly molested by this wolf. Chapter 3. Chapter 3. So, we start the chapter kidnapped by the P. Diddy wolf, and because he's a fat fuck, he won't let us leave without feeding him. But this may be one of my favorite starts to a chapter. For some reason, Boris's Goon Cave just has a really nice vibe, with the cartoon music in the background giving Resident Evil saving vibes. But after experiencing the lovely smell of a toilet filled to the brim with shit, we slowly make our way to a toy place, while slowly going through this corridor while also keeping this dumb bitch lit up, or we'll just sit there quivering like a pussy. But now we're in the toy factory, that for some reason is both underneath the animation studio for some reason, and also way fucking bigger than the actual studio that makes animations. No, I am not fucking over this, it's so dumb. And we do an alright puzzle, with this machine to move a thing and you have to make the black jizz in the form of plushies. Again, not a mind melter, but I kinda liked it. Also, Jacksepticeye's here.
I don't be seeing what the big deal is. So what if I went and painted some of those Bendy dolls with a puppet's mind?
Fuck off!
Now, I guess we'll talk about the other individual who's also introduced in Chapter 3. So, Alice Angel. I'm not sure how to talk about her, but she's a psychopath, and I want to put my dick in her. So with that being said, the rest of this chapter is a long-ass fucking fetch quest. Yay! So the entire chapter is Alice flirting with me and making me all fuzzy inside before giving you a quest to get a certain amount of thing, and then you go back and restart the cycle. And it's fucking boring. This chapter's fucking boring. Plus there's 2 enemies introduced. You've got the Butcher Gang, who are just the spunk men, but with more health. And the spunk demon, aka Bendy, who occasionally makes the place all spunky and you have to hide from him or die. But even then, death doesn't matter because you get spat out right where you died. Anyway, there's one good section. You go down here, you meet Pyrocynical.
So sad. Get a job.
And you have to sneak past him and find the things. Then again, he does no damage, so just having him chase you and give you back shots until you hide is just not that hard at all. Or you could just blast him. And after this, my Pookie Bear lets us go. Only no, she steals Boris, who, I'll be honest, I've just been using as a personal punching bag up to this point, so I really don't care. But she gets a pass because she's hot. Chapter 4. Chapter 4. So the chapter starts further down because somehow the animation studio has like 30 fucking floors, really rivaling that Bam Bam layout. So the gimmick of this section is that we have schizophrenia when we see shit. I don't know why we see shit, but isn't this scary? So going through the evil cave, again, animation company, we go further on and my frame rate starts to die. We're actually a large group of the spunk men hiding out. And I'm not really sure what's the point of this section other than to maybe make you care about the spunk men, but I also just could give less of a fuck about them, especially since we'll get back to killing them shortly after. And now in a theme park. Why the fuck this exists? Don't ask fucker, isn't this a cool visual? Isn't playing minigames that don't work fun?
Oh my fucking god, how do you aim in this game? I'm going to fucking throw my mouth. Or did I just join in on me losing my mind at balls? Dude!
So I don't like this chapter. For the record, this one outside of the aesthetics is my least favorite chapter. We have shit minigames, shit boss fight, where this guy managed to get himself stuck in a carousel, so to beat him you have to hit these screws, but to hit these screws you have to wait 10 fucking years, and even then you can have it so the ones you need to hit are nowhere near you, and you have to go to them instead, and he goes to hit you, and you get stuck in these 2 hitboxes for the shit attack, so you get fucking wombo comboed and now you're back to waiting.
Fuck you.
What I'm trying to say is this boss fight's fucking wank. And after this, you get a stealth section, which you can easily beat if you run around. Get hit a bit. Hell, if you die pulling one of these switches, it doesn't reset because the devs still don't understand the concept of death punishing the player. Then you get a section with Pyrocynical, which lacks all the fear that was in the one before, but it ends with him fucking dying so that the game can remind you that Bendy is a thing. Yup. Then it ends with Boris turning out to be Frankenstein's monster, so you have to murder him. And this fight's fine. You get a blob, put it here, make a wrench, stab, repeat. It's not something I'd call fun, but I don't hate everything about this. But I do hate my Pookie Bed dying. Fuck this game, man. Chapter 5. Chapter 5. So this chapter begins with us getting kidnapped again.
If I had a nickel for every time I was... I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right?
And as a reward, you get a 5-minute cutscene with this bitch who's just Alice without the shit that makes her hot. This cunt who can fucking die. And all this chapter really does to say is that these characters exist. Here's a MacGuffin that won't come up again after the immediate puzzle, and that the Ink Demon still definitely exists. And after escaping using a spoon...
A freaking spoon!
Welcome, children, who for some reason really care about mascot horror games. To the worst section in any game ever. So on this boat, this thing shows up, it can kill you. And as you agonizingly slowly move this fucking boat, these blobs show up, so you have to whack them. All while the lever to make it move takes a minute. So if you're a Neanderthal like me, you just keep trying to make it move and then you die. And of course, this is the only section in the entire game where death makes you restart. Because go fuck yourself. After this, the cultist guy from chapter 2 comes back, despite being seemingly dead beforehand. You get a shit boss fight with him that's easier than strangling your grandma. Then they show up, you get a horde of black men that you kill, and after that you get the gang. Only don't worry, the game doesn't hit you too bad. So you're here now. You're given what's supposed to be a stealth section as you grab 3 pipes. Only you can easily run past them, grab the thing, die, go to where you're supposed to put these in because the game spits you out at the beginning. Legit, you save more time dying. I hate this game. Doing this, you go into a safe, there's a film reel that can apparently kill Bendy. Oh my god, shut the fuck up! You go here, put this in. It makes Bendy in his final form, and that is a terrible design. So you get a boss fight where you pull levers and you die to open doors. And don't worry, even though it's bullshit because you can't predict what he'll attack, dying halfway through a boss fight in this game doesn't put you at the start like any game ever. So you can just bash your head against the wall until it's over. So you lure the dumb bitch into some glass, and then it turns out the whole game is a time loop, because fuck you if you want a coherent and satisfying ending. And that's the game. It's not very good. I've seen people online say that the real issue of this game was the fact that the chapters were released over time, and so it was just inconsistent, but that's bullshit. Here's how you fix it. Scrap the entire location and make it genuinely feel like an animation company and not just Bioshock on Wish. Make the combat actually kind of enjoyable and not the same level of impact as picking up soup. Make it so dying has any kind of punishment to the player. Make it so the game makes you do literally anything but fetch quests, and make the story actually coherent, and you'd have a game that's decent. Apparently the sequel's fine and I don't care. Maybe I'll play it on the stream, and if it's good I won't cover it, because hell, and I can't consume good things. So Stel, did you enjoy Bendy and the Spunk Machine?
That was fucking terrible. You should genuinely be ashamed that you made me watch you play that.
Kill ya!
Don't cry, I am just a fish. I am just a fish. I am just a fish.